Last week marked a historic moment for cable news. Don Lemon was fired from CNN. A few hours before that, Fox News announced Tucker Carlson was out. That came just a week after Fox News agreed to pay a $787 million defamation settlement to Dominion Voting Systems after it falsely accused the company of rigging the presidential election. Meanwhile, NBC Universal fired their CEO, Jeff Shell, after a harassment complaint, and ABC News fired Nate Silver, the founder of 538. Scott, that's just a lot of stuff going on in cable. What is your macro take here?
Well, on the cable side, I think it's really interesting, and that is everyone zeroes in on why Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson were fired. And I think it sort of indicates a couple things. One, I wonder if media is saying maybe we shouldn't be as polarized. Maybe there is some opportunity in the abandoned middle. I wonder if it's an accident that the most partisan of these partisan networks was fired the same day. And that is, Don Lemon is very partisan and Tucker Carlson defines the term partisan. And it just so happens that the most extreme anchor on both networks was fired within 48 hours. Now, there wasn't any coordination here, that the firms and their executives hate each other. But also, this is really about structural decline in the ad-supported market. While Fox grew, it didn't grow a lot, and CNN is actually in decline. And bad behavior or something they don't agree with, you get fired for it. And good times, they overlook it. So when things are not good, people are looking for reasons to fire you, especially when you're probably making a shit ton of money. And also, the real lesson here is that people will always inflate the ratio of their importance to the platforms. Shelley Long decided she was too big for Cheers, as did McLean Stevens for MASH. They decided they were going to be big movie stars, right? Money Pit, True Beverly Hills, right? That's what Shelley Long went on to accomplish in her career. And this happens every day in the corporate world, and that is someone is killing it at Goldman or at McKinsey or KKR, and they think, wow, I'm going to bust out and I'm going to be huge. And what they realize is they underestimate how powerful the platform was. Now, query me this. What former anchor at Fox has gone on to do anything? Is it Glenn Beck? Is it Megyn Kelly? Is it Bill O'Reilly? I mean, who is it? Who's got it? Lou Dobbs? Anyone hear from Lou? So these platforms are incredibly powerful. And the Murdochs, Rupert and Laughlin, know this. And they just decided we're sick of this guy's shit, I think. And we don't need to put up with it. The other learning here is that just in the spirit of transparency, or not, I don't know, to talk about shit other people don't talk about, Jeff Shell's firing. I think that the workplace is a great place, and people don't talk about this, to potentially meet romantic partners. You shouldn't use it as a dating service, but a third of relationships begin at work. And if you're young and there's an opportunity and spend a lot of time with someone, to ask them to coffee, at L2, we had a lot of marriages, and at Profit, we had a lot of marriages, and I think it's wonderful. And 99% of relationships that begin in any context or don't begin are consensual, or the person has figured out a way to politely and elegantly express a lack of interest. And if you don't know the difference between bothering somebody and expressing interest, whether it's asking them out for coffee, then you've got bigger problems. Having said that, you need to be careful. And that is, if you are senior to the person, it's probably not a good idea, because there's a power dynamic where you might misinterpret their signals and then find yourself in a situation where you are abusing your power. There's also outright crime that has been highlighted in the media, and those people deserve to go to jail. In addition, once you get above a certain level, your fly is up and locked, boss. You take that shit off campus. There is no dating at your company because you have so much power. It's awesome to be a senior executive at a company. People laugh at your jokes. They think you're more interesting than you are. You make a shit ton of money. You make a ridiculous amount of money compared to everybody else. But here's the bad news. You don't get to have sex with anybody, no matter how interesting you think they think you are, because the power dynamic becomes out of whack. And the majority of companies get this right. They say, all right, when junior level employees find each other, and if you're going to ask people to work 60 or 80 hours a week at a place, where else are they going to meet people? If it's a consensual relationship, they need to disclose it. And that's fine. More power to you. People should meet, fall in love, and have kids. Once you get above a certain level, that's it. It goes off campus. There is no excuse for it. And this guy was the CEO. There is no excuse. This was easy for the board. You didn't disclose this relationship. You're the CEO. You're all wet. And also be very careful. Tread very softly. And also, if you are senior to that person, be clear. Any misinterpreted signals, you're in the wrong. And you're subjecting yourself to real professional liability.
Yeah. And the same thing happened with Jeff Zucker at CNN too. But I just want to go back to Fox. And you were talking about what is Tucker going to do next? Fox sort of has the power in this situation. Here's an interesting thing that happened to Fox Corporation stock. So when the Dominion lawsuit was announced, or when the settlement was announced, the stock barely moved. After Tucker left, Fox lost around $700 million in market value. It's since stabilized, but it's down around 4% since that announcement. So in other words, the market believes that Tucker is worth around $700 million to this company. My question to you is he that valuable? Is there maybe an opportunity to buy here? Because what you're suggesting is actually Fox is valuable on its own and Tucker's just some guy and he's going to disappear into nothingness. How bad is this for Fox Corporation as a company?
Well, what's interesting is how the market perceives bad news. And that is they see some bad news is different than other bad news. And that is a settlement of $800 million. They don't mind as much because while it's a lot of money, it's the known. All right, we have the cash. We have $3 or $4 billion. So 20% of our cash out the door, and then it's done. We're over. We've absorbed it. The market knows what happened there. We're back in action. Losing your premier host, the 8 p.m. hour, creates insecurity. The market doesn't know if they're going to be able to replicate this sort of I'm a racist but 8 p.m. hour with Tucker Carlson. And that was good. You're going to get that in a few minutes, Ed.
I got it.
No, you're going to get that. That's good. Anyways, but the market has a more difficult time processing that. There's more unknown. The market hates unknowns. And so it would rather pay out $800 million and have it be done, and we're back in business, than not know whether or not Fox is going to be able to bring the same type of success at 8 p.m. Our editor-in-chief, Jason Stavers, pointed out something really interesting, and that is he doesn't think it's going to be as big an economic drain as some people might think because Tucker was so controversial, i.e. disliked by so many corporations and people, that a lot of advertisers would not advertise on his show. So Jason's thesis is that it won't be as big a revenue hit. I'm saying that I think that 8 p.m. time slot on that platform is more important than Tucker. And they're going to be able to build somebody's brand. Maybe they won't be as successful as Tucker, but it's the hour and it's the platform. There was something fantastic on the podcast Daily today talking about politicians. And it basically said it's not about the individual, it's about the terrain and the issue. And that is if abortion or the right to choose is important and it's Arizona and Wisconsin are going to determine the presidential election, that means the Democrat's going to win, regardless of who it is. And I think the same thing sort of applies here. It's about the terrain, it's about the 8 p.m. slot, and it's about the platform Fox more than it is about the individuals. So I think they're going to be just fine. And I can bet that everybody is putting on their best dress and saying, hey, wouldn't I look good in that 8 p.m. hour slot?
And just a final piece of data here we're talking about Fox's advertisers. In 2021, the biggest advertisers that were not owned by Fox Corporation on Fox News were Balance of Nature, which is a supplement brand I've never heard of, Liberty Mutual, okay, New Day USA, which
Does it keep you regular? Because maybe I should look into that. Seriously, you get to my age, you really look forward to the sit down. I void or defecate about once every 9 days now, Ed. I'm sorry, continue with your data about Fox. Go ahead.
A veteran mortgage lender, and finally, the fourth biggest is My Pillow, which is a pillow company. So that's your advertising quality.